Hello everyone, my name is Iris and today we're going to go through how to land an internship in marketing without any prior experience. And I just finished my second marketing internship, this time at a more formal corporate experience, and I just kind of wanted to share my journey since it really has been a long one, but I think I've learned a lot and I really want to share that information out to make it easier for anyone who is watching. The way this video is structured is I'm going to go over an overview of how generally to land an internship, and then I'm also going to dive into my personal experience as well, so with my first internship and then with my second internship after I had more relevant experience. So I think the general way to land an internship falls under three categories. The first is to identify transferable skills that are relevant to that experience. Second is to build a portfolio, so to really show and demonstrate those skills through projects, internships, design portfolios, and ways that you sort of put yourself out there online or on a sort of like blog or platform. And then the third would be nailing the interview process to actually secure your internship. So, after the resume passing and the general screening, how do you actually interact with managers in order to answer those questions and see if you fit in that company? So just a very brief background on myself. I am a rising third year at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. I'm an economics major and I have minors in math and government. And so it doesn't seem intuitive that I would pursue marketing, but I've always had a creative side. And so I've done sort of a lot of social media work and graphic design in high school and in my first year in college in extracurriculars. And then after my freshman year, I did a micro internship through my school. It was like with an alumni doing marketing for an ed tech company, and then eventually joined the marketing club, and I then took a marketing course, and then finally I got a marketing internship at a tech company, which I completed over the summer. So the first part of being successful at securing an internship is figuring out what skills you have and how those transfer to the internship or to the relevant role. So I have an economics major and I have a minor in political science. I'm also on my school international affairs newspaper. So this was all my freshman year, and I had done some previous social media work for a political journalism at my school. And so I kind of asked myself, like, what ties all of these together? Since it seems like I have a variety of interests and not all of them are necessarily an actual marketing experience. And I think what really ties these together is first, my love of learning. Second is writing and communication skills. And then the third is creativity. The second key to success is having some sort of portfolio. And this does not have to be a formal portfolio. Rather, it is about showing how what you've previously done in the past demonstrates the important skills that are needed for marketing. And so for me, I have done graphic design, so that would be more of a formal portfolio where I kind of compile various social media and other types of graphics that I've created into a single document or a PDF or a website. But there are also other ways to show that you have some sort of marketing skills and that you've really put yourself out there. The most important thing is like putting yourself out there, because that really is what marketing is about. So for me, I run a blog. So I have two blogs. First is my personal blog where I write a lot of reflective essays, and that shows some of my personal interests as well as my ability to connect and empathize with people through my storytelling. And the second is my Tumblr. I have a blog that has like around 63,000 followers, basically teaching people how to study and how to succeed in school. And that shows the important skill of like making information digestible and reaching out to an audience and being able to build that audience, because 63,000 followers is a lot. It took a lot of dedication, and so that demonstrates that I have that will and commitment and also talent to garner an audience. And then the third would be my YouTube videos. Again, I don't have too much success, but it shows my willingness to experiment and my love of learning to create different types of content and my skill in like videography. So once you have an understanding of your particular strengths and then also a way to show those strengths through that formal or informal portfolio, the next step is to find the roles that you kind of match up with. So you should choose roles where you can show some sort of demonstrated interest. So taking my personal experience, I applied for an internship through my school, and this role wasn't necessarily like paid. I had a stipend. And I was okay with that because the most important thing is really to gain that experience in the first place before you can really launch yourself. So I applied to 2 internships. The first is through a publishing company because I love reading. I've read a lot of books that have been published from their company, and I can, easily demonstrate my interest in reading just by, say, linking to my Goodreads account. And then the second internship that I applied for was for an edtech company. And what I did was I could use my study Tumblr to show my demonstrated interest in educational content and improving productivity for students. And so again, you really need to be able to connect what you already have to what the internship offers. And so you would just look at the internship description, see what sort of person or what types of skills that they're looking for, and then cater what you already have to that role. And so this is what I said for this role. This opportunity at blank company name, which merges my interests in marketing and learning, immediately piqued my interest. As a meticulous planner and as someone who runs a blog on studying, I'm always trying to find new methods to optimize my time management. I love the customizability of the app. So this was an edtech company, and so I downloaded the app to show my demonstrated interest further. The customizability of the app that follows selecting an assignment type and want to help spread the word to students and educators. Having managed established social media sites for student publications at Georgetown and a blog with over 63,000 followers, I see the potential in company's name, relatively new Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram accounts. Additionally, I currently follow several Silicon Valley individuals who write and research about educational and civic technology and hope to strengthen those connections to that industry through this project. So in this cover letter, I did 3 things. The first is why this industry, so why education, because of my interests in, study blogging and stuff. The second is why this company, so I mentioned that I downloaded the app and I saw potential in the social media accounts. And the third is why me, so I showed that, I have skills in generating an audience and in managing social media accounts. So I successfully completed the internship, and I also got a sort of return offer or an offer to extend that internship throughout the school year so I could continue to build key skills. So some things that I did was work on email campaigns, launch website blog content, as well as landing pages for various customer segments, etc., etc. And so through that sort of continuous learning, I could then apply that to future internships that I was applying for. So now that I had some sort of experience, this automatically opened the doors to a lot of other things. First, I was able to take a marketing course through my school. That's social media and digital marketing, which was pretty informative. It taught me some of the fundamental skill sets and kind of just showed that, yes, I am capable because I've learned about it through a formal school setting. The second is it allowed me to secure a strategist role in my school's marketing club, and that allowed me to, gain actual marketing experience with real businesses in the DC area. And so these are all, sort of experiences that I could then talk about for interviews or on my resume or in my cover letters. So once you've passed the resume screening and, the general screening, next is the interview process. And my initial marketing role did not have an interview process, so I didn't have to worry about that. But for more formal opportunities, there probably will be an interview experience. And from my marketing internship at the tech company, there were 2 rounds. The first was a phone interview, around 30 minutes, just asking generic behavioral questions. And then the second was a more formal process where I talked to 4 marketing managers back to back. And that was a lot more intense, a lot more varied questions that I actually did have to prepare for. So for those more formal marketing roles, it's important that you kind of get access to a variety of resources. You can look at generic sort of questions. So these are the, tell me about yourself, tell me about leadership experience, what are your strengths, weaknesses, those general behavioral questions that you can kind of find just on any list of interview questions that you should definitely prepare for. And then also the more company specific, so why this role, why this company, why this specific internship, what sort of values do you align with, what is the company about, like, so can you explain what the company does, just to show your demonstrated interest. And then very marketing specific questions, so perhaps past projects, or what is your marketing superpower, or can you talk about a time where you work with metrics and data. So some examples of other marketing specific questions that you might get include, what ad campaign do you find most impactful to you? How do you keep up with new marketing news? And also pick an app that you use on your phone and describe how you might market that app. So, these are kind of more questions that demonstrate, your interest in marketing and your previous experience as well, and how you think as a marketer. I like to use the STAR method, so situation, task, action, result, and then lastly, I also like to add a learning point. So what is the key takeaway here that shows how I'm going to succeed in that role? And so I used varieties of stories from my previous internships, from my club experiences, from my classes. And I think ultimately, for more entry-level roles, you don't necessarily have to have some sort of life-changing marketing campaign. It's more about this willingness to learn, a demonstrated interest in marketing, and also a demonstrated interest in the company really matters as well. So I intern at a software as a service company, so a SaaS company, and I had previously used the product at a previous marketing internship, so it showed that I had some familiarity and I wasn't just applying out of the blue. And then once you go into the actual interview, you will be given a list of interviewers, so it's important to do some initial research into their role, their past experiences, and to prepare questions for them as well. I think I was able to connect with my interviewers on a personal level, even if I didn't answer their questions necessarily in a perfect way. I was able to connect with them, and a lot of testing whether you fit the company is whether you can have a good conversation with them. So your personality and your conversational skills still do matter a lot, if not matter even more, because they can teach you certain software or hard skills on the job, but they cannot teach you how to be a good person or an entertaining person. And so that's really important. So always be yourself, and if you fit the company well, then the company will actively seek you out and give you a role. So in terms of my cover letter and my resume and previous experiences, I think what helped me get this internship was I talked about my overall passion for storytelling and my desire to help focus on relationship building, which is a key focus of that company. So building relationships with their customers, since they are very a customer focused company. I also talked about my previous marketing internship at the EdTech company, and specifically I highlighted my willingness to take initiative, so thinking of ways to improve the company's performance outside of just my initial responsibilities, as well as some key marketing software that I've used, such as HubSpot and ActiveCampaign, to build email marketing campaigns. So I also gave examples of how I improved the performance of my school's politics publication social media channel, through expanded page visits and giving actual statistics, so improving that by a certain percentage year on year, unique visitors, as well as page views. And I think, I also highlighted the key skills from my journalism, so how I'm a staff writer and I'm able to communicate a lot of complex information in a digestible format. And then again, that blog where I highlighted my ability to retain a lot of followers and garner an audience. Once again, to recap, it's being able to identify the key skills that you currently possess, matching that with the internship description, having demonstrated actual ability and competence through previous experience, through online content, as well as like a portfolio, whether that be informal or informal, whether that be formal or informal. And then finally, nailing the interview through preparing specific questions related to marketing, to the company, and then generic questions as well. And then following up with the interviewers to ensure a very good conversation so that they are very interested in you as a person.